Well, we finally started today not well below zero, I guess. Only a couple of degrees below zero here in Ohio. Chilly, a little chilly. Still not a ton of snow on the ground, but a little chilly. Amy and I heading over to the barn. We're going to get a look at everybody now. The next 2 days is going to be trying to figure out accommodations for everybody. We are going to be bulging at the seams, as I said, here in Ohio, and I'm sure soon in Ontario. So this week will be all about accommodating everybody. Now, last night we raced two horses. Greatest Ending raced in Resolute Bay. We were hopeful for both of them, but both of them coming off terrible performances, actually. Resolute Bay looked like he was a winner and made a break in the last turn. I spoke to James briefly. He said he thought that he just put a step in. He really had no reason to. He pulled up sound. He looked fine. But that just seems to be par for the course. This guy just seems to be in a funk, right? When he was on his game last year and flashes of it this year, that's an easy victory for him. And that's just the horse. That's just the way it is. You can, and this is an important, an important lesson for everybody, is that the horses can't be good all the time. I say that all the time, but I think for everybody it means a little something different. Resolute Bay is on the cusp of being at least a good portion of the horse he was last year, which was a very effective animal. When I say last year, 2022, not 2023. Having said that, there's nothing holding him back, right? They just seem to be in a funk. And we get the same way. I know there's some days I wake up and I said, geez, I should have done this, or definitely driving horses. Should have stayed in, I should have moved the horse. And then the results are very lackluster in some cases. And in Resolute Bay's case, overly lackluster for an entire year. But that happens. And again, that's a live and learn for our 3-year-olds coming forward, which gives me a lot of pause right now, especially since we have some of those. And then Greatest Ending, I raced him, and he actually went before Resolute Bay. I would have liked to see him attack a little harder in the end of it. He felt short to me, which he probably was. He come off that horrible mile where he tied up his last start, off 2 weeks. Yes, we trained him 8 days ago, but didn't train him in between. Didn't want to risk jeopardizing this race. And I still thought that he'd be a little bit better. I guess I'm of the mind now that shoeing change we made, although it certainly didn't hurt him, it didn't help him. Now, we were smart enough to, as we sent the horse down to get those shoes made and put on him, we had another pair of the other shoes made also. So I think before his next race, we'll slide those other shoes back onto Greatest Ending. He certainly felt okay last night, but a little bit of a power outage. And I think when we think of what he was coming off and what he had done going into the race, I guess I wasn't super shocked. 54 and a piece, probably 29 seconds on the end of it on a half-mile track. All things being taken in, I think wasn't really that shocking. So we'll look for a better performance from him. We have a ton of horses. I just sent Wendy a mammoth email talking about the horses going right now. We have Resolute Bay, Electric Lion, Carter Michael Dio at the Meadows, or on their way to the Meadows. We have what else do we have? Leaving Ontario, leaving Ohio, heading to Ontario. Tomorrow will be Dominion, and hopefully Vaquero Blue Chip. We've decided to send him back to Ontario to train down. He's a pretty easy horse either way, and with no wins, I suspect a good spot for him to start will be Mohawk. And got pretty good hopes for this guy this year. I think he was a decent colt last year with a lot of upside in 2024, so it made sense to maybe send him home. Now, so Dominion's going home, and then the latter part of the week, this week, we'll have Yo Mister going to Ontario. I said to Stacy, you're going to get Yo Mister back, but we're going to train our horses back. And when it comes to Yo Mister, I think training him at Northfield wouldn't really be the best situation for him. He likes a bigger track, so let's give him the biggest one we can give him right now, which is Mohawk. And then the other horse to go home, Really Don't Care. I decided that maybe Really Don't Care was a bigger track, maybe stretch her out and see what we can do with her as a 3-year-old. She's a New York bred anyway, so being in Ohio or Pennsylvania, not really a feather in her cap. If the maiden trots are full, it's tough to get in the maidens at What are we doing here? Employees and badged personnel. He said this way? No.
Yeah, he said this way.
This way? All right, sorry. We're learning to use the new gate. Think I'm in the wrong lane. Horseman that way? Yeah.
Horseman coming this lane.
All right.
In the future, okay?
No problem. Or just speed up and blow right through.
That's your other option.
Look, it looks like you're not even allowed in here.
Do I not have...
There you go. All right, guys, thank you. They put a new security gate in at Northfield Park. A little more intricate. So that's the plan for Ohio and Ontario and Pennsylvania. We had spoken to a couple of partners, and since Walnut is at Southwind Farms, we're going to send Punch the Clock right to Southwind Farms. We can't get this wrong. So she's heading to Southwind Farms at some point this week also. So a lot going on. Nothing racing today that I'm aware of, but we do have some horses qualifying and racing tomorrow. I'm going to get up in the morning. We're going to go with the... What's that?
Kemp.
Is that Kemp? Shouldn't be, but we'll have a look.
No, not big
No.
enough white face.
No, that's the little colt there with the white hind feet. So yeah, tomorrow we have the babies going in the morning, and then we also have, there's Dr. Latessa, and then we also have Carter Michael Dio racing at the Meadows. 3 horses, because Mission will be scratched, racing at Northfield Park, and I think we have 4 to qualify, and he's on that list. So if I'm not mistaken, a pretty busy day tomorrow at in the United States. But for now, I'm going to let everybody go. We're at the barn now. I want to get some work done. I did mention yesterday, had a couple people say, Anthony, you mentioned something about, New Year's selling some shares and giving everybody a discount. I do have some horses that I own, some race horses shares that I've accumulated. Who would they be? Snap You is getting ready to go. She'd be one, I suppose. I think we have some shares in her. And although he just come back in, Mel Gibbs won. Had a good year last year, so we might be able to sell some shares of Mel. I'll look over the list today, and I think I'll just send it out to everybody. I'll send it out to everybody this afternoon. These are shares that are not for sale on the main board. These were shares that I had last year, whether they were left over or whatnot. I had them, and I thought that maybe they'd be interesting to people that wanted them for the new year. It's not that I don't, but it is that time of year. My favorite time of year is followed by my most frustrating time of the year. So with that, I'll figure that out throughout the day and likely send you guys a note out in the entire group section. But for right now, it's a little chilly getting to the barn and going to get some work done today. I will talk to all of you very, very soon. Take care.